Take a big breath in through the nose. Hold it. And now exhale through the nose, nice and slow. And as you do, feel how that belly hollows out and that spine gets heavy to the mat. Let's do a few more like that. Big breath in. Fill the lungs, fill the belly with air. Hold that fullness, and now exhale. Last time, big breath in. And exhale. Now take a moment here on your mat just to check in with your body. Maybe you want to start with the toes to the top of the head. You decide, working in the opposite direction, check in with the muscles, the joints. Get a gauge on how you're feeling this morning. You don't feel the same from day to day. Your practice is not going to be the same from day to day. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, this is a great time to do that. Check in with the mind and your energy level. And then just take that bit of information and put it in your back pocket as you go through practice. Last breath here in stillness. Big breath in. This time on the exhale, take those knees to the chest, ladies. Let them get nice and heavy. Take the hands to the shins. Go ahead and rock from side to side. So nice little back roll, getting a massage. And of course, you know, the closer the knees are to the chest, the higher up on the spine that massage is going to be. And as you float those knees a little further away from the chest, that massage is going to trickle down your spine. Maybe there's a sweet spot in the back where you just want to linger. Let's do a couple more. Feels so good. And now come on back to center. Go ahead and take those toes to the mat. Take the feet to the mat, and then let the knees get heavy to the right. So if the knees don't hit the ground, you know you can take a block underneath the knees or in between the knees. Shine that left hip up to the heavens and let those shoulder blades get heavy on the mat. So the arms can be either in a stop sign or a T. But once you get nice and settled to the top of the shoulders, go ahead and take that left ear towards the mat for a nice spinal twist. Let's hold here. So we're going to hold our poses for at least 10 to 20 seconds. Giving the muscle fibers an opportunity to relax. Go ahead and take that gaze back to center. We're going to bring those knees back towards the ceiling. And now, as you exhale, take the knees to the left. Shine that right hip to the heavens. Again, shoulders are heavy. Option to take now that right ear to the mat to complete our spinal twist. Hold here. Go ahead and take that gaze back to center. Take those knees back to center. Now this time we're going to take these knees towards the chest. Take the hands onto the knees and then separate the knees so that they're floating towards the outside of the shoulders. And now let's just make some circles with the ankles. Doesn't matter which direction you go into, we're just limbering up the joints. A little pause here, take it in the other direction. So we're going to spend some time warming up all the joints this morning. Now go ahead and give those ankles a little break and just wiggle the toes. Now relax the feet, and with the hands on the knees, just go ahead and let those knees get a little heavier toward the shoulders. So you should feel a nice, gentle stretch through those inner thighs to start. And now go ahead and take the feet towards the heavens. The knees are still bent. Find your happy baby. So you're going to take the hands to the arches of the feet, or you've got your strap. And again, take it to a little roll from side to side. Now, of course, you can get playful here. Maybe you want to extend through one leg as you float the opposite knee towards the mat, switching it up. Again, this is a feel-good class. Anything that feels good, do it. Anything that doesn't feel right in the body, don't do it. Remember, your practice, your rules. Let's do one more each side. And now come on back to center. We're just gonna relax those legs together. Knees are still bent. Heels are gonna get heavy towards the sit bones. Taking the hands onto the knees one more time. We're gonna separate those knees and make circles with the knees. So we're getting into the hip sockets here. So as if you had pencils on the top of your kneecaps and you're making circles on the ceiling. And again, doesn't matter which direction you started, doesn't matter how small or how large those circles are, it's what feels good in the hips. Let's do one more in this direction. Take a little pause and send it the other way. So then if you have tight hips, this is a really nice little stretch to do to warm up the joint. Let's do one more here. Come on back to center. We're going to keep that right knee at the chest and just relax that left leg, extend it and let it float down on the mat. Interlace your fingers on that right shin and float that right knee a little closer to the chest. You should feel a nice stretch through the hamstrings and the glutes here. So we're going to take these stretches just a little deeper this time. We're going to float that right knee to the outside of that right shoulder. Really important that you keep that left sit bone grounded. As we open up through the right inner thigh, that knee can come as heavy as you like towards the mat, towards that right shoulder. We hold here. And now come on back to center. We're going to switch hands. Take the left hand to the outside of that right knee, keeping both those shoulders grounded. Float that right knee across the body towards the left side of the mat, towards that left outer hip. Again, option here to take a block underneath that knee and press that knee into the block, or just let that knee get heavy. But what you want to avoid is allowing that right shoulder to lift from the mat. And again, if you like, you can take that right ear to the mat, hold here. You should feel a nice stretch through the glutes, the outside of that right hip. Last breath here, come on back to center. Go ahead and extend that right leg down the mat. We're just going to switch it up. When that right leg arrives on the mat, take that left knee toward the chest. Interlace your fingers on that left shin. Let that left knee get heavy. So again, notice the difference on one side of the body versus the other. One side's always going to be a little more open, a little more forgiving. And now with the left hand on that knee, go ahead and open up towards the outside of that left shoulder again, keeping that right sit bone grounded. Come on back to center. We're going to switch it up. Right hand to that knee. Again, that left shoulder stays grounded. Ladies, float that left knee across the body. Find your twist with or without your block. And again, option to take that left ear to the mat and we'll hold here. Last breath here. Come on back to center, both with the head and the knee. This time, leave that leg there. Extend that left leg straight up. Float that right leg alongside of it. Now glue those legs together as if you had one. Point the toes, and now flex the toes. So we're waking up the calves here. Point and flex. Arms can be anywhere you like. Alongside of the body, in a T, in a V, in a stop sign. Little point and flex. Really pull the toes towards the shin. Should feel a nice big stretch through the calves here. Let's do one more. And now point the toes, keeping the sit bones grounded. We're going to make little circles on the ceiling with the toes. So you should feel a nice massage to the small of the back. And as you know, these circles can be as fast or as slow as you like. They can be as small or as large as you like. You should feel your lower abdominals engage a little bit here as we start to play with these circles. with the size of these circles. And again, you're well imprinted through the spine here. Last one in this direction, go ahead and switch it up. Last one here. Come on back to center. This time, pull your toes towards your shin, send the heels to the heavens. Arms are alongside the body. We're going to come into plow, ladies. If plow is a pose that you don't like, you can go ahead and continue with what you're doing here. But if you want to give those hamstrings and that lower back a bit of a stretch, we're going to use our hands alongside the body to lift the hips and send those toes behind us. Legs are nice and straight, toes cut. They don't have to touch the floor, by the way. If you're a little tighter, they're not going to get there. That's okay. If you're a little more open, you might want to take those knees alongside the ears, so you're bending the knees. But you should feel this lovely stretch through the small of the back. So again, take it to where it feels good. Never take it to the point where there's pain. We'll hold here for a few breaths. And now slowly we're going to release that as we take the spine one vertebrae at a time back down onto the mat. Again, legs are in line with the hips, feet towards the heavens. You could let that left leg float down onto the mat. We're going to take that right hand to our calf, or you can take your strap to the arch of the foot, or you can grab your big toe with your peace fingers, yogi's choice. Toes to the shin, heels to the heavens. Let that leg start to float towards the chest. So we're opening up all through the back of the leg. We're getting into the glute, the hamstring, even the calf a little bit. If you're super tight, keep a softness in the knees. And again, don't force it and don't bounce. As the muscle warms up, you might be able to take that leg a little closer, but we're in no rush to be anywhere today. We're just waking up the muscle fibers, giving them a little more pliability. Last breath here. Go ahead and release that leg. Let that right leg float all the way down onto the mat. Now, if you're using your strap, you can switch the strap from one foot to the other. And then when you're ready, that left leg floats up. Again, you decide what makes sense for you. And now let's find a stretch on this side. So again, gently encourage that leg a little softer towards the body. And again, pay attention on which side's a little tighter. We always favor one side. We stand dominantly on one side. I'll hold here for a few more breaths. Last breath here. Go ahead and release that. Float that leg back up above the hip. This time we're going to hinge at the knee. We're going to bring that left foot onto the mat. And then we're going to bring that right foot in line with the right hip. So again, knees bent. We're setting up for bridge pose. Arms alongside of the body, ladies. Root down, imprint through the spine, flatten out through that lower back first. So we're pulling up through the front of the pelvis bone, and now send that pelvis bone up. Hips to the heavens. Heels are heavy on the mat. And really root down through those feet as we send those hips up. We should find a nice opening through the front of the hip flexors here. Hold here. And now release that nice and slow. Come on back down. Let the natural curve of the spine come back, so you're going to have some space between that small back. Once again, imprint. Hold that imprint. Notice how much the core is engaged here. And then once again, we're going to pull up the spine one vertebrae at a time as we send the hips to the heavens, like two strings pulling the hips up. Shoulders are nice and grounded. Neck is comfortable. Root through the heels, send the hips a little higher. And release. Taking that spine back down one vertebrae at a time. Ladies, we're going to extend those legs straight out. Arms are alongside of the body. I want you to engage your core just a little bit here. We're going to soften through the shoulders, pull the shoulders up, the neck, and then each vertebrae one at a time. So we're going to come into a staff position, engaging the core as we do this. Nice and slow to a nice tall spine. Inhale, arms up overhead, big breath in. I'm gonna go this way so you can see me a little bit better. Big breath in. Exhale, take a little bow over those legs. So again, we're not trying to take it to a full stretch just yet. We're just opening up the small back, the hamstrings, maybe about halfway. Just settle here for a few breaths. And then come on back, nice tall spine. Bring arms overhead, big breath in. This time we're gonna leave the arms there. We're gonna clasp the left wrist with the right hand. Now as we inhale, we're gonna go a little taller on that left side, keep the sit bones grounded, and now take a lean to the right. Don't let that left cheek lift from the mat. So we're opening up through the intercostals, the side of the body. Hold here. And come on up, nice tall spine. Switch it up, grab for the right wrist. Inhale, grow tall. Again, leave that right sit bone on the mat, and as you exhale, lean to the left. So again, pay attention to what side's more open. And release, coming up. One more time, inhale, grow a little taller through both arms, and we're gonna bow one more time. So maybe you take it further, maybe you don't. You decide what makes sense. Again, waking up the hamstrings here. And release, coming up, nice tall stack spine. Bring it back to the neck for a little bit. Take a big breath in when you think of getting taller through the spine. On the exhale, send that right ear towards that right shoulder. Should feel a nice stretch on the left side, and we've got options here. You can either take the right hand to the ear, gently encourage that, or you can take those left fingertips to the mat, push the mat away. Again, good contact with the sit bones, core is engaged, spine is tall, big stretch to the left side of the neck. And release, come on up, nice tall stack spine. Inhale, grow a little taller. On the exhale, take that left ear towards the shoulder. Again, you decide, hand to ear, hand to mat. Get that nice stretch. You carry a lot of tension here. Last breath, go ahead and stack the spine. Take a big breath in, let that chin get nice and heavy towards the chest. Feel a stretch to the back of the neck. And now slowly and in control, we're gonna drag that chin towards that right shoulder. Take a peek behind that right shoulder, let's hold here. Coming back through center, go ahead and drag that chin towards that left shoulder. Take a peek here. And once again, back through center. Now this time we're gonna float that chin away from the chest. Send it up to the heavens, let that head get heavy. You want an extra stretch through the neck, take that lower lip and take it above the top lip and hold. Drive that chin up, get a nice big stretch in the front of the throat. And release that, coming back to center. Ladies, we're gonna take our arms, we're gonna stack. Fingers are gonna point forward. Wrist, elbows, and shoulders are stacked. Root down through the heel of the hand. And then we're just gonna slowly start to take the chest forward. But root down through those heels. Should feel a nice stretch through the wrists and the forearms. Now release that. We're gonna flip this around. So we're gonna take the back of the hand out of the mat, palms are gonna face up. Have a little softness in the elbow and be gentle. This is a little more tougher. So again, we're rooting down through the wrists, the back of the hands. We're straightening up. You should feel the forearms get nice and stretched here. Again, we're gonna start to lean back this time. And as we lean back, you should feel a nice stretch here. These are really great to do if you have carpal tunnel, or you're at your desk. You can do them on your desk. You know that we can do them. I'll show you options in a second to do them without using a mat. We'll hold here and release. You can also do them right straight through the air. So with the arm parallel to the floor, taking the palm towards the body, or again, taking the palm away from the body and getting a stretch. So those are options you can do at your desk or while you're watching television. Inhale, get nice and tall one more time. We're gonna take that fold over the thighs. And one more time, again, option to use your strap, get that nice big stretch, and we'll hold. Last breath here, come on up, nice tall stack spine. So you might want to have a little space between the legs so your hips, knees, and ankles are aligned. You're gonna take the hands, fingers are gonna point towards your feet. We're gonna be stacked, it's really important, wrists, elbows, and shoulders. We're gonna roll the shoulders away from the ears. We're coming into a reverse plank, ladies. So we're gonna start to float those hips up. If you do not like this one, you can bend the knees, take the feet to the mat, come up this way. If you're ready for it, we're extended. If you don't like this one, don't do it. Hips come up, feet come towards the mat, heart to the heavens, relax the neck, we hold. Should feel your arms working a little bit here. Don't let that belly get lazy, core's intact. We're sending those hips high to the heavens. And release, go ahead and take those sit bones back down to the mat. One last time, stack the spine. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, take it back. And release, coming up, nice tall stack spine. From here, we're gonna float ourselves right into a neutral tabletop position. So take those knees underneath the hips, wrists, elbows, and shoulders are stacked. Let's find our cat cow. Inhale, really root through the heels of the hands and the knees, pull up, get that nice big stretch through the belly. Take that gaze up, slow everything down. Exhale, chin to chest, tuck the tailbone, puff that back up. And again, big breath in. Exhale. So as I said, it's an all over stretch for the body. If there's a particular part of the body that's a little tighter, you can linger at any pose that feels particularly delicious today. And as I said, I'm sending you this video so you can freeze frame anything and just linger in these poses for as long as you like. Let's do one more. You can get that big stretch through the belly. Get that big stretch through the back. Come on back, find your neutral table. Inhale that right arm high to the heavens. Big reach, open up through that right side, and now thread that right arm underneath the left, taking the ear and the shoulder to the mat. So you can stay here with fingers to the mat. You can extend that left leg back, or you can open up just a little bit more. Again, feel a nice stretch through that shoulder and hold. And release, come on back. Neutral table, let's do one cat cow between sides, big breath in. Exhale. Find your neutral table once again, inhale that left arm high, big reach to the heavens, open up. Exhale, thread it underneath that right arm, ear and shoulder to mat. And again, you decide what makes sense on this side, find that stretch that feels so right for your body this morning. And release, come on back to center. Let's do one cat cow, big breath in. Exhale, chin to chest, puff that back up. While we're here, let's wake up the core a little bit, ladies. Curl those toes under. We're going to come into bear pose, but not for long, I promise. This is more of a stretch class than a strengthening class. But curl those toes under. Again, wrists, elbows, and shoulders are stacked. Knees are underneath the hips. And when you're ready, press the mat away, float those knees up just a centimeter. We'll hold. Just for 10, 9, Don't worry, I'll count. But you know, I'm not really a good counter. Hold here. Hold. Take that navel towards the spine. Feel that core engage. This is an exercise you can do anytime. Really stress-free on the body. Great core engagement. Last breath here. Go ahead and take those knees down. Big toes together. Send those knees away towards the sides of the mat. Take those hips back. Child's pose. Now, if you don't like child's pose, you can come in shell pose with knees closed. Extend through the arms, soften the heart and the head towards the mat. Let those hips get heavy towards the heels. We'll hold here. And again, in a stretch class, we're in no rush to be anywhere. Now, keeping those hips nice and heavy, take a walk with the hands to the right. Send that left hip bone further back. Maybe left hand floats on top of right. Get a nice side body stretch here. Take a pause. Walking the hands back through center. We're going to take it to the left, ladies. Send that right hip further back. Maybe right hand floats on top of left. Let that hip get heavy and soften. Come on back to center. We're going to take those knees back in line with the hips. We're going to walk the hands forward. Come onto your elbows. Guess what? You can't think we're going to do a class without at least one plank. We're going to do one plank. I'm going to time us. Now you've got options. You can stay on your knees. You can come to your forearms, which is what I'm going to do on my forearms. Or you can take it to a high plank on your hands. Choice is yours. So when you're ready, set yourself up. Take those toes back. And find your plank. We'll hold here. So again, don't have that ass up in the air. Don't have those hips saggy. Find the core that makes sense for how you're feeling today. Send the navel towards the spine, cores engaged. Doesn't matter how long you stay on. If you need a break, drop down to the knees. Come back up when you're ready. We're not going to be here for long. But Dragner told me you did a 2-minute plank the other day, so I'm assuming that if I do less than a 2-minute plank, you guys should be fine with that. And again, some days you have more strength than others. If you need to take it down, take it down. I'm trying to work myself up to a 2-minute plank, not there yet. But by the time I start teaching classes again, I will be, trust me. For those that are wanting to know the count, that was just over a minute. We're holding on again. Another 20 seconds, ladies. It's a minute and a half today, not a 2-minute, but a minute and a half. We got 15 seconds left. Again, navel to the spine, cores engaged, nice and flat. Someone could have a little tea party on your back right now. And we're done. Take the knees to the mat, uncurl the toes. This time, everyone's going to come in a shell pose. Send the hips back. Drape the body over the thighs, forehead to the mat, arms alongside the body, palms up. Hold here. Let those shoulders get nice and heavy. Tailbone gets nice and heavy. Last breath here. Go ahead and take the heart away from the thighs. We're going to come into hero's pose. So, for those of you who know already that you don't like hero's pose, it's for your quads. That's the one when we come on back. Option is to take it up to a standing pose. Hold on to something for balance. Keep that knee in line with the hip. And we take the heel towards the buttock. So there's that nice stretch in the quadricep. Now, if you're up for hero's pose,
Tops of the feet are on the mat. Knees are in line with the hips. The hips are sitting in between the heels. Now you don't have to go all the way back. You can take it as far as you like. But if your quads are open and you want a nice big stretch, you can take that entire spine onto the mat. Don't let your knees pull apart from each other. It's critical that they stay in line with the hips. You want a bit more, press the knees down. So when you're standing in this pose, you're really sending the energy from the hip through the quadricep knee to the floor. And if you want, you can start to take that knee a little bit behind the hip. It opens up even more. Again, yogi's choice. Now, if you're standing, go ahead and do the other side so that we make sure we do both of them. Hold on to that. And that should be just about even for both sides. So when you're ready, if you're in hero's pose, you're going to come on up. And if you're standing, you're going to make your way onto your mats. And this time we're going to walk the hands forward. We're coming onto our bellies this time, ladies. So any which way you want to get there. Nice and slow, come all the way down. Take the hands alongside of the chest. You want a little space between the legs, hip distance apart. Tops of the feet are heavy on the mat. Just a half cobra to start. Take a big breath in, elbows are tight to the body. Inhale, come on up. Imprint through the hips. Come on up and open through the heart. You feel a nice stretch here. We're going to do this nice and slow. And release. So we're going to do 2 more. You decide where you want to take this. You can even take it to up dog if you want. Next time, big breath in. Imprint through the hips. Engage the hands, coming up maybe a little higher. Should feel that opening through the front of the hips. The back should feel a nice stretch. Again, keep the elbows tight to the body. Don't let them splay away. Hold here. So again, this should feel good. If it bothers your back at all, relax it. Release that. We'll do that one final time. Big breath in. Take it to wherever it makes sense for you. And on the exhale, come on up and find your stretch. Hold here. Last breath. Slowly take everything back down onto the mat. When it arrives, bend the knees and just sway the legs from side to side. So if we create a bit of tension through the small of the back, we want to release that. Now go ahead and extend those legs straight back. We're going to send those arms forward. We're coming into Superman, so that means we're going to take the arms and the legs off the mat together. You can gaze forward with the towards the hands if you like, or you can keep forehead on the mat. It's yogi's choice. Imprint through the hips, up go the legs, and now float the arms up. Hold here. And release. So you should have your back engaged. So again, when we create core strength, it's front and back, really important. We're going to do that one more time before we come into alternates. Big breath in, imprint through the hips, up go the legs. Float the arms up and hold. And release. Let everything go. And now this time, one more time. Again, you decide where your head's more comfortable. Float that right arm and left leg up as high as you can. Hold. Go ahead and release that. Left arm, right leg. Come on up. Hold. Release. Right arm, left leg. Hold. So imagine someone's got a tug of war on that hand and that foot really extending. Release. Switch it up. Left hand, right leg. Release, last time each side. Big stretch. Release. Big stretch. And release. Go ahead and take those arms out like a T. Forehead could be on the mat, or you can gaze off to one side. Bend the knees one last time. Let's do a little rock and roll from side to side. Now go ahead and extend those legs straight out. We're going to keep that left arm on the mat, palm down, in line with the shoulder. Take those right fingers and tent them underneath that right shoulder. Take a big breath in, and on the exhale, float onto that left side, opening up to the front of the pec. Now you've got options here. You can take that right foot behind you. You can send that right arm behind you. You can stay exactly where you are, but you just want to feel a nice stretch to the front of that left pec. Hold here. And back to center. We're gonna switch it up. Extend that right arm straight out again. Palm down in line with the shoulder. Tempt those fingers to start roll onto that right side. I don't have as much mobility on this side where my port is, so I'm gonna take it a little easier. You decide what makes sense for you, but we're pressing down and opening up through that hold here. And release, come on back to center. So again, take the big toes together, ladies, your choice, either child's pose or shell pose. Hands underneath the shoulders, press on back, and find that nice, heavy sit back on the heels, and take a moment here. Last breath here. Go ahead and take those hips up. We're going to take those knees underneath the hips. Getting ready for downward dog, ladies. So walk the hands forward, curl the toes under, send those hips up. And just pedal up the feet. So find your downward dog. But while we're here again, we're going to slow everything down. I want you to let those heels get heavy. I want you to find your calf stretch here. Again, it should feel really nice. One more each side. We're going to get into the hips a little bit more. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, bend that knee, and now open up to the right side. Don't let that left hip pop out. Energy is straight back, but we're twisting and opening up on that right side. Hold here. Stay strong on the left side. Go ahead and extend that right leg straight back. We're coming into a crescent lunge. Inhale, knee to nose, a low crescent lunge. Take that foot in between the hands and take that left knee down to the mat. Stack the spine. Interlace your fingers on that right thigh. Root down through that left knee, flip those hips forward. Should feel a nice stretch through that left flexor. You decide how open you go. So the more that hip shines towards the mat, the more open that hip is getting. Go ahead and release that. You know where we're going. We're going to get into that hamstring. So hands to the mat or on the blocks. Heel toe that right foot forward. Heel into the mat, toes to the shin. Again, take it to wherever it makes sense for you. And then soften the heart towards that leg. We're going to hold here. Last breath here. We're going to slowly take that knee back underneath the hip. We're going to walk the hands forward. We're going to find our downward dog one more time. So when you're setting up, go ahead and float those hips up once again and walk it out. And pay attention to how the right leg feels versus the left. So the right leg's just had a nice stretch. Should feel that it's a little bit more open than that left leg. Don't worry, we're going to even things out right now. When you're ready, go ahead and float that left leg high. Exhale, bend that knee. Stay strong on the right side. Open that left hip up. The edge of the left mat. Be strong for the arms and the shoulder girdle. Go ahead and send that leg straight back now, gazing in between the thumbs. We're going to inhale, knee to nose. Step that left foot forward, take that right into the mat, low crescent lunge on this side. Again, stack the spine, hands to the thigh, root down through that knee, flip the hips forward, get that stretch. Should feel a nice open again now through that right hip flexor. Again, always paying attention to what's the differences between one side of the body versus the other. Last breath here, go ahead and float those hips back, hands to mat or blocks. Heel toe that left foot forward, find your stretch on this side. So again, the sides are going to be different. One side's going to be a little bit more open. Be kind, be gentle, be forgiving. Don't have expectations. And then find your stretch, we'll linger here. And when you're ready, we're gonna come back. Taking that foot to the mat, we're gonna walk the hands forward one last time, find your down. Walk it out. Now bend the knees generously, start to walk the feet and the hands towards the middle of the mat and find your forward fold here. So again, no expectations, hands can be on the mat, they can be on blocks, you can grab opposite elbow with opposite hand and have a little sway, whatever feels good, but root down through the heels, take the sit bones up, and then soften the heart towards those legs, hold here. There's your stretch. Inhale, rise up one vertebrae at a time. Big breath in. Exhale, hands overhead. And now soften the hands towards heart center. We're going to take that stretch to our calves one more time. Take that right leg over the left. Try and keep the baby toes glued together. Those heels are going to be pretty hard to stay together. Softness in the knees. Take a big breath in one more time. Exhale, take a bow. So again, this is when blocks come in handy. Root down through the heels, float those hips back. You should feel a nice stretch through that left calf. Hold here. So the more you root down through that heel, the more you send those hips back, the bigger that calf stretch. Hold here. And now slowly come on up. Go ahead and unravel those legs. We're gonna leave the right leg, we're just take the left leg over right. Again, baby toes are glued together. Little space between the heels. Root down through the heels. Inhale, go tall. Exhale, take a bow. So again, if your calves are particularly tight, blocks are your best friend. Root down through the heels, float those hips back. Should feel a stretch now through that right calf. Hold here. Last breath here, slowly come on up, unravel. Take those legs apart. Ladies, just little shoulder rolls here. So relax the shoulders, take those shoulders up towards the ears, send them down the back. Nice slow circles. Again, we carry a lot of tension to the shoulders and the neck girdle. We're gonna play with the shoulders a bit once more when we get to our mats. Go ahead and take a little pause, and now come on back the other way. Switch it up. So like I said, real big stretch class today, getting into hopefully all the joints. Sure, we've missed a couple spots. Go ahead and relax, let those fingers get heavy towards the knees. We're gonna send that right arm straight up. Go ahead and send that right arm across the body, reach towards the right, and we snug that right arm a little closer to the body. So you can either use your hand or the crux of your elbow, yogi's choice. And now take that gaze to the right as we actively reach that right hand to the left. Hold here. Should feel a nice opening again to the top of that right shoulder. We hold. And now take your gaze forward, take that hand forward, float that hand up. We're gonna flip the palm, we're coming into that tricep stretch. Taking the hand either in between the shoulder blades, or a clasp, a bind, or using your strap, or simply taking your hand to your elbow, yogi's choice. But find that nice stretch in through the tricep. If it's available to you, we send those elbows a little back, a little bit further, taking that stretch a little deeper. So again, it's whatever makes sense for your body. Hold and linger here. And release that. We're gonna switch it up. So send that left arm straight out, spread the fingers, let it cross over to the right. Big active reach to the right. Take your gaze to the left, hold here. And you might feel these stretches in different places. You're gonna feel those stretches in the places that you're most tight. Last breath here. Go ahead and take your gaze forward, bring that hand forward, up it goes, flip the palm, find your tricep stretch. So again, whatever makes sense for you. And again, you'll notice that one side is going to be a bit more forgiving than the other. That's normal. If it's available, we send those elbows back a little bit more, extend through that stretch, through that tricep just a little bit more. Last breath here. And go ahead and release that. You're gonna take our hands onto our thighs. Roll the shoulders back. Big breath in, get tall, and on the exhale, slide those hands down. Relax the knees if you need to. Hands to the mat, bend the knees. We're coming into staff pose one final time. Take the sit bones onto the mat. Keep those knees bent to start. Now, if you'd like, you can extend through that left leg, yogi's choice. We're gonna take that right hand to the outside of that right foot, shins parallel. Take that leg away again. There's that stretch to the shoulder. Hold here. Get that nice big stretch. And now we're gonna send that knee back and behind the shoulder. And again, extend. We're gonna do this 2 more times. But don't miss that stretch to the shoulder. That's the beautiful part. Send that knee back. Last time. Last time forward. Last time, send that knee back. Now go ahead and take that right ankle onto that left thigh. If that's not comfortable for you, you can take it onto the mat. You can support that knee with the block as well, yogi's choice. But if that ankle is on the knee, you're gonna let that knee get heavy. Don't force it. You should feel an opening through the front of that hip. Finding your number 4s here. You know that we can do these seated as well on our mats with the bridge pose to start it off. And again, big breath in to get tall through the spine. On the exhale, start to fold forward. Strap here again is a nice friend. As we soften the heart towards that leg, let that knee get a little heavier. We open up a bit more. You should feel a nice stretch to the glutes, the outside of that hip. Hold here. Keep that left sit bone grounded. Don't let it float up, ladies. And now release that, come on up. Take that right foot onto the mat. So it's on the outside of that left foot. Drag it as close to the hip as you can. Root down through that foot. Snug that knee a little tighter. Again, there's that stretch. Root down through that right sit bone and go a little taller. Should feel a nice juicy release into that right glute. And now we're going to find a twist. So take that right hand in behind you. Again, we're stacked, fingers pointing away. Take that left arm up, or you can keep it on your knee if you like. And we start to open up to the right side, taking that left elbow to that right knee. Find your twist and hold. Really nice big spinal twist. They say that all these spinal twists really help to change the flow of the blood through the torso, cleansing the organs. And now release that, come on back. We're gently just gonna uncross that leg, send that right leg to the mat. Switch it up, bend that left knee. Hand to the outside of that left foot, shins parallel. Send that left leg away. Big stretch. Go ahead and take that knee back. And again, extend. Extend again, find that beautiful stretch through the back. Last one. And now go ahead and take that knee onto the ankle. So again, you're gonna be very different from your hips, one side or the other. Again, you can take a block underneath that knee and press down into it, or you can gently encourage that knee a little closer to the mat. You should feel a nice stretch right off the bat with that without doing anything. Inhale, grow a little taller. On the exhale, we soften to the back. So again, strap here is a really nice option. Let that knee get heavy. You should feel a juicy stretch into that glute. Yeah, release that, come on up, nice tall stack spine. Get that left foot to the mat. We're gonna find our twist here. So again, we slide that foot as close to the hip as we can. root down to the foot, root down to the sit bone, snug that knee in a little closer and go a little taller with the spine. I'm getting ready for our twist. We're gonna take that hand, left hand back, nice and stacked, fingers point away, take that right arm up to the heavens. Inhale, grow tall, and on exhale, elbow to knee or hand to knee, find your twist. Gaze behind you. And release, come on back. Go ahead and extend that left leg straight back. We're going to take it all the way down to our spines. If you're more comfortable with knees bent, go ahead and do that. If you want a little bit of core engagement one last time, we're going to take it nice and slow. Taking the spine to the mat. Again, navel's towards the spine. We're still engaged the core where those ribs and hips are nice and tight. And we take it one vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way down onto our mat. We're going to take the right hand to the left shoulders, the left hand to the right shoulders, ladies. So the arms are crossed. Imprinting through the small of the back. We're going to float the shoulders and head up, and we're just going to take it to a little roll from side to side. Last final stretch here for the shoulders. Let's do one more each side. And come back to center, let the neck, head, and shoulders get heavy to the mat, uncross the arms. We're going to float the right knee and the left knee to the chest one final time. Now, ladies, you can either take hands to shins, you can take it to happy baby, your choice, whatever you like, but take it to a little roll from side to side. And again, play with where those knees are in relationship to the torso. We'll see if you can take that massage up and down the spine. And as you roll from side to side, check in with the body one final time. Notice how the body feels now versus when you first came to class. Hopefully a little bit more relaxed. Maybe you found an area that needs a little bit more attention. Let's do one more each side. Final twist for the class. Take the feet to the mat. Arms are relaxed, either a T, a V, or a stop sign. Go ahead and take those knees to the right. If you like the left ear to the mat, take a pause here. Once again, gaze and knees towards center. Big breath in on the exhale. Take the knees to the left. Take the gaze to the right and hold here. And now while you're here, think about how you might want to spend final Shavasana. Last breath, come on back to center. Knees to center, gaze to center. Now extend through those legs. If you want to take your blocks underneath your knees, go right ahead, but find your happy place in Shavasana. Find that place where you can feel grounded, where you can feel settled. Well, I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to keep you in Shavasana for a bit, and then I'm going to close things off, but we'll have some opportunity to chat at the end of the class if you like.